So long as you are living in our house, you will obey us and get a job and give us your paycheck. We will of course start giving you an allowance from it, so long as George has everything that he will need.
That isn't fair. Why does he get everything handed to him?
It's part of the privileges of being born first and a male.
We're twins though, and I have just as much potential.
You don't make me laugh.
Then prepare to laugh, you jackass, because I was accepted into medical school. Hi there, my name is Megan, and I'm in a bit of a difficult situation, and I would love to get your opinion on what I should have done differently. For starters, I have struggled all my life for any sort of recognition. My brother and I are twins, and even though I was born first, he was always given more attention. As I grew up, I realized that it was entirely because he was a male. My parents just saw me as inherently weaker just because I was born a girl. They never gave me a chance to prove that I was smart, and that I would amount to anything. My parents always just assumed that since I was a girl that I would disappoint them. My brother's name is George, and he was always spoiled. My parents would hire expensive tutors to help him get the best grades possible, and would hire coaches to help him perfect how to play various sports. Honestly, they signed him up for so many things that, looking back now, I wondered why he didn't have a nervous breakdown. But at the time, I was jealous. To me, it just looked like they were ignoring me and giving all their attention and love to him. It made me so furious at them.
Okay, so George, your piano practice is at 3 and your track and field coach will pick you up from practice and train you until 7 tonight. So make sure that you bring a snack so you don't pass out again.
Yes, Mom?
Hey, I would love to learn piano. Can I take lessons as well?
You? Are you kidding? Why on earth would we waste money on a loser like you? Megan, the only thing you will ever be good for is marrying a rich man and giving him lots of babies. But I have no doubt that you will probably screw that up too somehow.
Mom? Why would you say that?
It's just reality, Megan. Your brother has way more potential than you do. Now stop wasting my time.
It was infuriating, and at the time I hated my brother for it, even though it wasn't really his fault. Sadly, my father was even worse. And once my brother and I became teenagers, we were even given different food too. Our parents would spend lots of money on organic fruits and vegetables for my brother, along with steak and the best cuts of meat, whereas I was told to eat frozen dinners, which were terrible. Every meal, I would stare at my brother and watch him shovel expensive meals down his throat while I ate frozen dinners that cost a fraction of what he ate. Why does George get to eat so well and I have to eat this flavorless garbage?
We've been over this, Megan. George needs the best nutrition possible so that he can maintain his muscle mass and do well in sports. You don't play anything, and to be honest, you should probably eat less so that you don't become any fatter than you already are.
It was such a load of crap. I was actually the ideal weight, but that didn't stop their words from hurting my feelings. George, to his credit, kept silent. It would have been nice if he had stepped up to defend me, but either he didn't care or that he was afraid to. Either way, I was just as furious with him as I was with my parents, who were monsters. At any rate, there really wasn't much I could do. But then my dad broke his leg, and while we were in the hospital, I saw how the doctors and nurses cared for him, and I knew that that was what I wanted to do with my life. Even though my family treated me like a complete loser, I wanted to help make other people's lives better by helping them in their time of need. It was hard going, of course, because my parents would never in a million years pay for me to go to school. So I got a part-time job in secret and started saving money. I knew that I would have to rely on scholarships and to get a student loan, but it would all be worth it. Finally, when I graduated from high school, I applied to medical school and was accepted. I was even given a scholarship that would cover a large portion of my expenses and even included a dorm room as well. It was then that things really took a hard turn for me, though.
Okay, so the two of you have finally graduated from high school, which means it's time for George to go away for school. Megan, that means that you can't slack off anymore. It's time for you to get a job so that you can help pay for your brother's schooling.
Why would I do that? Can't he get a job and help himself? Why can't you guys pay for it on your own?
Don't be so selfish, Megan. If you help George now, he might even take pity on you later in life and make sure that you don't end up living on the streets. So long as you are living in our house, you will obey us and get a job and give us your paycheck. We will of course start giving you an allowance from it, so long as George has everything that he will need.
That isn't fair. Why does he get everything handed to him?
It's part of the privileges of being born first and a male.
We're twins though, and I have just as much potential.
You don't make me laugh.
Then prepare to laugh, you jackass, because I was accepted into medical school.
How dare you speak to your father that way? And with what money do you plan to use to pay for this school?
I've had a part-time job for years, plus I have a scholarship to help out as well.
So you have money already, and you think you can just be selfish and use it for yourself?
I've worked hard for it. It's my money to decide what to do with it.
Megan, if you go to that school, then you are never welcome back here.
To be honest, that was my plan to begin with. I knew it would be hard, but I had no intentions of ever going back home after I went to college. The years studying to become a doctor were very hard, but in the end, it was all worth it. I made friends in school that became roommates later until I could afford a place on my own. The holidays hurt and were a bit depressing since I was all on my own. But it was worth it to know that I had made something of myself and that I was making a difference in the world. The years passed and I started to really make a name for myself at the hospital that I was working for, when suddenly I got a call one day saying that someone was in the emergency room and was asking for me. When I went down, I saw that it was George and he did not look very well. Hey George, what are you doing here?
Hey Megan. Listen, I know that I have no right to ask this of you, but can you please help me? I'm here because I overdosed. Please, I need your help to get clean and away from Mom and Dad.
My heart was breaking for him, and even though I didn't know if it was a good idea or not, I chose to help him. Yes, I will help you. But why are you here, and why do you want to get away from Mom and Dad?
Well, I got injured while playing sports, and rather than taking time to heal, Mom and Dad started giving me painkillers to make me numb so that I could keep playing. It didn't take long before I started needing the pills more and more, and I got addicted. They knew this, and so they used them to control me. Whenever they wanted me to do something, they would threaten to cut me off if I didn't do as I was told. Please, Megan, I really need to get help. I can't keep living like this.
I promised that I would help him, and I brought him to my house and gave him some new clothes and a hot meal. He was incredibly grateful, and the next day when I was at work, he spent the entire day cleaning my house and even made us dinner. It was incredibly unexpected, and considering how he was still under the weather, it was incredibly sweet of him to do so. For weeks, he kept doing things like that. He even began repairing little things around the house that I had neglected. I told him that he didn't have to, but he said that it helped him to keep busy. Around that time, I helped him sign up for a rehab program and became his sponsor. It was a difficult journey for him, but with my help, he stayed clean, and I even helped him get a job as a contractor. He had shown that he was very skilled at house construction and repairs. It made him happy to work repairing people's houses, and it kept him occupied and drug-free. However, one day I came home to find my parents on my front porch banging on the door.
George, let us in. You've had enough of a vacation, but it's time to come home.
Yes, George. We need you to make money to help us. You wouldn't want us to starve, would you?
We have your medication. Surely you need a fix by now.
What is wrong with you people? He finally got clean, and here you are trying to use his addiction to manipulate him. Have you no shame?
Oh look, it's the loser that is trying to steal our son from us.
Just mind your own business, idiot. George, you come out right now.
I was so angry that I pushed them both off my porch, and they landed in a muddy puddle. They had grown rather frail, and it was very easy to overpower them. With them out of the way, I unlocked the door and slipped inside before locking it again. George was inside and was in tears. I finally realized that he had been traumatized by our parents just as much, if not worse than myself. I held him and comforted him while I called the police and had our parents dragged away. I then applied to get a restraining order put on them so that they couldn't come anywhere near my home, which of course they broke, resulting in them serving jail time. After that, they stopped harassing us for some time. I knew deep down that they wouldn't give up, but I also knew that I needed to protect my brother from them. And so it went on like that for a couple years, until I heard that my parents had been forced to move into an assisted living home. Without my brother giving them money, though, they were forced to move into one that they could afford. And I knew that it was a terrible place. The staff weren't medical professionals and treated their patients like animals. They lasted a few years there before they passed away. Neither George or myself went to either of their funerals, but I am happy to say that we are doing great. It's so amazing to have my brother in my life, and although we have a small family, we are incredibly happy and spend all the holidays with each other. The only thing I regret is all the years that our parents kept us apart. Thanks for watching. Please subscribe to the channel.